People aren't buying our slop anymore. What do we do?
Let us create a Roblox game.
Sir, that would just make us look like our only purpose is to fit in with current trends for profit.
Shut up.
Yeah! Damn, they really just make a Roblox game out of everything these days, huh? I mean, hey, at least they didn't make one out of Care Bears. Ah. Companies always want to try and fit in. And Roblox, being the most popular MMO of all time, is a prime target for these companies to dip their toes in. Now, I'm no stranger to corporate games. Last time I took a look at some was last July. However, what I've noticed, even in my other videos too, is that I've been being a bit negative towards some of the games. Yeah, no kidding. It seems like the entire channel at this point is based on negativity. It's been months since you've been actually positive in a video. Exactly, which is why I'm going to change that. Today, I'm going to try to be optimistic with corporate games. We'll be taking a look at 10 games made by developers paid by corporations to advertise a product. And instead of only finding things to get mad about, I'm going to at least try to find some positive things about these. You know, as to not make this the same as the last 2 videos I made on these games. Without further ado then, let's get started! Beetlejuice Escape the Afterlife is really not what I thought this was going to be. For starters though, let's just check out the lobby. Wait a minute, virtual box office? That's kinda weird. Either way, you go into the map by shrinking down, which I think is a very nice way to handle things. It isn't like different maps too, it's all the same thing. I tried clicking the Get Tickets button and using the old zip code from my old house, but unfortunately, there weren't any showings in my area. Sad, but I kind of expected that. Besides that, I found that this game actually sponsored other games making collaborative events for free UGC. One of them being... Barry's Prison Run? Oh hell no, Star, we are not going back to Barry's Prison Run for a jumpsuit. Okay, yeah, fair enough. There was free UGC, however, all of it was unfortunately sold out, despite giving me the badge for it. Anyways, enough stalling. What's the actual game like? It's an escape room? Yeah, I did not expect that either, but I mean, here we are. If you've played a game like Piggy, this is basically more of that, except with better modeling. Oh yeah, also, regarding that call for help button on the left, I totally expected for that to be a Robux purchase, but instead it was just another one of those call features for your friends or other players. Your main enemy here are the security guards that will gradually damage you. I mean, at least it's better than Piggy, where you just instantly die if you touch one. However, this game also has an interesting mechanic called hint vision. Hint vision is like, kind of X-ray? There's no cooldown to use it, which is interesting. It just goes ahead and makes all of the available objects and doors in your area red, and everything else black and white. There were 3 different maps and I played 2 of them. Unfortunately though, hint vision isn't really as good as it sounds. One way or another, you will get lost, and it's kind of hard to come back from that. Sure, you'll probably eventually find your way, however, it's just kind of boring walking through the same map over again. On the positive side though, I kinda like the theming for this one. I've personally never watched Beetlejuice myself, however I feel like the general atmosphere of the wackiness everywhere kinda captures it. At least from the tiny clips of the Beetlejuice cartoon I've seen. Care Bears Caring Quest to me doesn't seem like a one-off for Roblox, it seems like a greater operation to target children-based media in general. How do I know this? Because they made a Fortnite Tycoon, that's why. Fortunately, I don't play Fortnite, so it's time to learn what Care Bear's Caring Quest is all about. Upon starting up the game, I immediately get a good impression with the models. Despite being made probably with pre-existing meshes, they look pretty cool. Especially with the animations and textures. Now, of all the games that I expected this to be, I really did not expect it to be a 3D platformer. I chose the pink one as my first playable character, which I didn't even know was a playable character choice until after I chose that. It was then I learned that this game basically takes a lot of points from Super Mario Sunshine, with the whole cleaning up goop and collecting shines thing. I found out that there was a double jump, which doesn't really feel like a double jump, it just feels like an extra bounce, I guess. I really like these animations, again. They just feel so fluid. This video isn't an advertisement for Care Bears, I just know that they actually decided to put time and effort into this. I know it's corporate slop, but it doesn't feel like corporate slop. Oh wait, never mind, it's a gacha game. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the Robux stuff you can just buy with free currency, which, I mean, that's something. Side note, I find it really funny that the villain just gave us a checklist of what we need to do in order to stop him. Like, why would you do that? Getting past the tutorial, this actually kinda felt like a 3D Mario game. Obviously, it's not perfect with there being pay-to-win elements, but I mean, that's just kinda what you'd expect out of a Roblox game nowadays. It does certainly feel that they made an effort to make a good game here, which I do like. This wasn't just made to turn a profit. I mean, it probably was, but you get the point. Let's see if the next game can match this one's quality. Oh boy, it's Game Fam. I don't expect this to be good given how they treat their employees, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt this time. Saying remember to ask your parents for these game passes just shows that this is especially targeted towards children wanting to spend money here. Unlike Care Bears, this was made solely to turn a profit. Alongside that, this is probably one of the most boring Tycoons I've ever played. Look, I know I'm supposed to be optimistic this time, but like, come on, you can only stretch me so far. I didn't really feel like I was making any progress, and the only thing that I felt was worthwhile buying was a weapon. The main incentive to weapons here is PvP, which honestly isn't really that fun. It's just killing NPCs and killing players without any real combat mechanics, just mashing left click. It's probably more in-depth than that, but I don't want to bother to try and find out. I do know that there's a character system, which, like, cool, I guess? Doesn't really excuse this game kind of being subpar, though. Now, unlike the other ones, this one actually had an early access fee. So while I didn't expect this to be as the finished product was intended to be, I still expected decent quality out of this game. The ludicrously expensive cosmetics were a bit disheartening, but at the same time, they're cosmetics. At least it's tucked away in a menu and not being blaringly advertised into your face. What I quickly found out was that this game is a randomizer battleground. Definitely not as complex as a game like Item Asylum, but I mean, hey, it still keeps the core concept. Although you do have to go up to an NPC every time you die. There are 3 different NPCs you can go to for skills, however, with them being unlocked based on playtime. I do feel that it's a bit scummy to lock extra item slots behind Robux, though. This definitely gives people an advantage. Besides that, it's a solid enough fighting game, albeit a bit bland with not enough players. Plus, some of the skills just feel kinda hard to control. I understand that it's just a beta and it's not finished at all, but for what it's worth, it's a pretty good concept. On its own, definitely not, but this game has potential. The moment that the tutorial for Littlest Pet Shop told me to open a pet egg, I knew this wasn't really gonna be a good game. I'm gonna be real, this is probably the worst simulator I have ever played. The only form of gameplay in this game is going to specific spots and clicking them. Sure, you can get certain stickers, but they barely matter in the first place. As far as I know, there's only one egg. And I'm not gonna grind enough to get to the later areas to find out if there are more. You know what's funny? I tried looking through the sticker menu, and Roblox just crashed. At the very least, the game saves your exact position when leaving. Kind of a weird choice, but I mean, okay? Still though, this game is extremely boring. So you know how I usually put like Nintendo music in place of the video clips I'm playing? I'm not gonna dare unmute the audio because oh my god, I would get claimed to oblivion. Surprisingly enough, this game counts as a free UGC game. Now you could either get UGC points by actually playing the game or spinning the wheel. With said wheel being group locked, how fun. There was also no UGC in stock and the ones that were on display didn't do anything. There were also cosmetic crates. I did one and got a common. What did I expect? I mean, it's like 80%. Playing the game, it just seems like a pretty simple mouse-based rhythm game. Control your character, collect the music notes, and randomly press space for a score boost? Yeah, I don't know why they do that, it just feels kinda shoehorned in. A lot of the songs that you get on the starter level are really only like 30 seconds to a minute and a half long. It probably gets a lot longer later on, but it just feels kinda short-ended when you're at level 1. Plus, there's no real incentive to play now that all the UGC is gone. At the very least, every stage has multiple challenge levels for extra scores, so it has that going for it. I'm not much of a rhythm guy myself, but I know that this is probably copied from another game. I mean, sure, with Universal Media Group's large amount of songs, they could have done a really good rhythm game here. Not on Roblox. But then again, this is one of the most accessible game engines. So you know how if you're really young and you want to play an online game with player-hosted servers, but your parents won't let you? So instead they put you on the most kid-friendly server imaginable? This is that kid-friendly server. This is the most family-friendly Roblox game I have ever seen. 0 Robux purchases, period. No game passes, no products, nothing. However, this also comes with the consequence of being the most nothing burger game imaginable, as the entire purpose of this game is to sell you on Danimals. In terms of the gameplay, just imagine Sonic Speed Simulator but like 10 times worse. There is literally 0 point to anything. Breaking the boxes and fruits doesn't do anything, it just clears the path, kinda. There isn't any, like, reward for breaking them, you just break them. There was also a free UGC section, however there was literally no UGC in it, so I assume all of it's sold out. In reality though, this entire game is just meaningless walking. To keep a 4-year-old entertained, yeah, but like, if you can tell what a good and bad game is, this sucks. I genuinely did not think that the UPS store would make a Roblox game, but here we are! Welcome to Main Street Moguls, also known as Odd Job Simulator. I went ahead and chose the dog walking store, and all I did was just walk in circles until I filled up the meter and then went to the dog owner's house. Then you just repeat the process, and repeat the process, and repeat the process over and over again. I was so bored that I didn't even bother completing the floor that I was on. So I ended up leaving with only a few dogs walked. Based on the fact that only 4 people have only gotten 100 actual shipments, I really don't think that this game gets any better from here. Dang, I really gotta do this one, huh? Alright then, welcome to Find the Blippis. And unfortunately, this game does not have as much integrity as Danimals Adventure World. Because you are constantly persuaded to buy game passes here. An instant 499 Robux locator that ruins the point of the game? Sure, why not? And while we're at it, might as well string you along with free boosts in order to convince you to buy it once you get a taste of it. Alongside unlocking Battle Pass rewards with Robux. Besides that, this is just a finding game. You go around the map and find the characters, I guess. Why do you get speed boosts from the Battle Pass? Either way, this entire thing doesn't really feel themed around Blippy besides the GUI and stuff. You could just insert any character into this map and it would be considered its own game. There's nothing unique about this specific map that screams Blippy here. Either way, I don't really have much else to say. You can just cheese some of the obbies with the jetpack. Any other finding game would give you a better experience than this. Now, that was supposed to be the end of the video. However, Google had other plans for me. Because while I was filming for this video, Google released Be Internet Awesome World. Yeah, Google has internet safety mascots. Could you believe that? Now, I've noticed that I've been kind of lacking in positive feedback for the last few games, so I'm going to try and give this game some compliments. Not after criticizing it for a minute-long unskippable cutscene, though. But anyways, we have our main plot. This big guy named the Glitch is corrupting areas and we need to save them or whatever. There are also hearts around the map that, as far as I know, don't do anything. However, they give badges if you collect enough. The first of 4 minigames is Kind Kingdom. You go around the map, talk to NPCs, and encourage them. You do this by clicking the right option. Besides the picking mechanic, it's kind of just a walking simulator. That or deciding whether to go to the next island or going for another NPC. Also, helping NPCs unlocks more stuff around the map. The more NPCs you get, the faster your score increases. Also, each minigame gives you 1 to 3 stars depending on how you did in said minigame. Higher score, the better. Getting all 3 stars counts as completing that area and ridding it of the glitches things. The second minigame is Mindful Mountain. You slide down a mountain with 1 message each. You then have to click one of 3 NPCs in which you should share the message to, or just delete the message if it shouldn't be sent. Watch out for the glaringly obvious fakers though. This one was the one I had the most trouble with, primarily because you go off what the game thinks is okay to send. And if you get it wrong, you just freeze in place for a few seconds. However, get too many wrong and you'll lose stars. I figured that all of the minigames were easy enough to the point in which I could get 3 stars on all of them, so I kept replaying this one until I got the 3 star. Minigame 3 is Reality River, where you have to detect whether a message is a scam or not. If a message is sus, then you pick one of 4 choices to determine why. Hang on a moment. I'm sensing kind of a pattern here. Hasn't the last 2 minigames also been picking out of a list of choices? I mean, yeah, sure, this time you have, like, the sender ID to worry about, but, like, at its core, it's all just picking from a list of options, alongside some slight modification to that formula. The final minigame, Treasure Tower, is where you have to run from hackers by choosing one option out of 3, okay, yeah. For a digital ecosystem, it matches the vibe fine enough, but like, literally all of the minigames are just fundamentally the same thing but with slight variations to them. At least this time it's less about collecting as much points as possible and more just conserve your score. But the timing for this is also kinda weird because you have to do it after the sound cue, which I didn't know at first. Primarily because I thought I could get by without reading the tutorial. However, they should still probably tell you that in-game too. I'm not gonna hold it against them for that though. Either way, we've completed all of the areas, but there's still one more challenge left. We have to get all 3 stars in every area, which I already did. Once you do, it's time for the final never mind, it's just an anticlimactic ending. This game doesn't feel finished. I completed everything within 40 minutes. As a game that, like, you'd play in an internet safety class at school, yeah, it would be fine, but as an actual standalone title, it's really nothing too special. The environments are decent and the minigames are meh. That's all I really have left to say about this game. People often treat every single corporate game as bad. And while that's not necessarily true, all of them still have that goal in mind to sell you something. Either that or to get a message across, like the Google game. The thing is, good corporate games can exist, at least decent ones. Care Bears specifically showed me that if a team puts time and effort into a project instead of making it solely for money, then it can stand out. However, most of the time, companies only make Roblox games for the sake of making Roblox games, wanting to increase their brand reach instead of making an actual good product. But I mean, hey, at the end of the day, that's just business. Corporate slop or slightly less corporate slop. With that being said though, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Hey Star, I just got some Danimals! They said they're doing a giveaway! Wanna have some?
Starism, there is no way you got convinced to buy Danimals by playing Danimals Adventure World. You got convinced to buy Danimals by Danimals Adventure World, oh my god.